In the beginning, we see Mio in her dreams seeing a little boy and girl stacking up rocks together. And when it crumbles, she wakes up realizing that she forgot to do her homework. She then gets it done quickly and hurries up to go to school. Mio then meets up with her two best friends at the train station, a boy named Arata and a girl named Madoka. They then continue their school life, with Mio getting a very low score on her math test. During the lunch break, Mio and Arata talk about how there is a boundary between the sky and the sea, usually called the horizon. She wonders what the boundary between the sky and space is called. Arata calls the boundary over the sky. During the weekend, they both go out together, and during the trip at a cliff with a good view of the horizon, Arata gives Mio a bracelet and calls it a lucky charm. Arata tries to confess to Mio but avoids it by changing the conversation. After she finishes her mock-up exam, Madoka confronts her about her feelings for Arata. But she lies by saying that she has no feelings whatsoever and even encourages Madoka to get closer to Arata. She jealously watches Madoka and Arata together at the train station. On the weekend, Arata and Mio are going out for another trip, and this time, they are visiting a fortune teller. The fortune teller tells them that there will be a trial ahead. Out of nowhere, Arata can see white orbs around and started to freak out. He immediately grabs Mio and runs away from the place. Along the way, Mio stops him and questions their relationship as she gets upset. She says that they are nothing but childhood friends, and why should they keep hanging out together like that? As Arata is about to speak, Mio immediately leaves him alone. At home, she deeply regrets everything she said and did to Arata. Realizing her mistake, she rides her bike in the middle of a rain to Arata's place. But on her way, she got hit by a car and decides to just see him the next time, not wanting him to see her like that. The next day at school, she tries to apologize to him, but Arata seems to completely ignore her. She spends all day trying to fix her relationship, but a sudden blue beams appear when she was on her way home. Mio wakes up on a train alone, but is in another world. She arrives at a world that exists between the sky and space. In front of the train station, she is greeted by a talking plushie called Giman. Giman tells her that she is at the world border, which is a place for people to forget their memories and take off for the other world, and he is the guide there. He then guides her to a door so that she can move on to another world. Suddenly, a girl named Kiku shows up and tries to stop her and tells her that she is only there because of an out-of-body experience. But then, the world around her started to change, caused by an entity called Requiem, who is the guardian of the border. They managed to escape to the train station. Kiku then tells her that in order to go back to the human realm, she must get a train ticket and a strong desire to go back. She uses her cell phone to call Arata, and surprisingly, it works. The phone rings when Arata is visiting Mio at the hospital. Hearing Mio's voice from the call, but seeing her physical body in front of him, Arata immediately runs away from the room. Mio and the others arrive at the Forgotten Things counter to get a ticket. But for some reason, she is unable to remember her memories with Arata, and the man at the counter closes it and disappears. Back in the human realm, Arata goes to the fortune teller from before. He finds out that they are relatives, and she tells him that she didn't reveal her identity before because of his grandfather's order. Arata then requests her to help him save Mio, as he seems to have an idea of what's happening to Mio. While she initially refuses, but seems to mellow out a little after seeing him cry. She tells him to take her to the place that evokes the strongest memories in her, as that's where the two worlds meet. Suddenly, Arata feels a strong pain in his head and his soul leaves his body. At the world border, Giman takes Mio and Kiku to see the goddess. The goddess appears as Miss Mori, a person she is very close to when she was a kid. Miss Mori then explains to her that the goddess appearance is according to her desire, so she is right now appearing as Miss Mori according to Mio's wish to meet her. The goddess then points Mio to a door in order to face her fears. She realizes that she kept running away from the painful situation and never put any effort to change anything around her, leaving it all to chance. For some reason, Mio starts singing like a Disney princess as she is sure of what she needs to change. She walks out of the door, finally remembering what she needs to say to Arata so that she can get the ticket. Back at the counter, she now receives the ticket to get back. With her goals achieved, she bids goodbye to the group and hops into the train. However, the train suddenly stops at its track and Mio decides to walk through the path and arrives at the next station. At the next station, she meets Giman again and he theorizes that the reason she can't go back to the human realm is because she actually wants to stay in the world border. Not willing to accept it, she goes to meet the goddess again. The goddess then transforms into her true form and tells her that the reason she can't go back is because of the requiem. She creates another door for Mio to remember what she wants to say to Arata as she forgot it already and a strong feeling is required to repel requiem. Mio enters into a memory of her during the last summer festival. During the fireworks show, Arata told her something but she can't remember it. The memories break and a white-haired man shows up from the scattered memories. He introduces himself as Requiem and he takes an interest in the phenomenon Mio currently is. Seeing how Mio breaks so many rules, he is determined to make Mio obey them by making her stay. Afterward, he transforms into a giant monster and chases after Mio. Luckily, Fully Giman shows up to save her. Knowing he can't hold him for long, Giman puts her into his mouth to transport her to another place. As she arrives, Mio is immediately rescued by a flying, giant version of her goldfish that she got together with Arata. The fish reintroduces herself as Kiku. They try their best to escape from Requiem but fail at the last moment. As she falls into the water, Mio is already desperate and is about to give up. Just like any other plot armor, Mio is again saved by none other than Arata. She finally remembers what Arata said to him during the fireworks festival. He confessed to her at the time, but she was too afraid so she pretended not to hear him. They arrive at another part of the world, but Arata soon disappears as the fortune teller brings him back to the human realm. He snaps at her for bringing him back, but she explains that he would have been dead should she not save him. Arata has the power to project his soul to the world border, but his grandfather forbids him to do it considering the risk. He and the fortune teller then go to the hospital where Mio is at. Mio's astral body also arrives at the hospital, but Arata can't see her. Requiem reappears and tells her that she got into a huge accident the day she rode her bike to Arata's place. This explains how Arata ignored her all day after the accident. She hasn't been in her real body ever since. Desperate, Mio begs Requiem to help her but asks her to accept her death and bid her farewell to Arata. Arata feels her presence, but she fades away immediately and at the same time, the bracelet Arata gave her also breaks. The fortune teller helps Arata to take Mio's body out of the hospital to see the horizon as it is the place that evokes the strongest memories in her. Her soul also arrives at the same place with the goddess and Requiem already awaits her beside a door where she can go to whatever world she wants to go. But Kiku and Giman arrive to convince her to make her own choice for her fate. With a strong memory and desire, she decides to go to the world where she lived, which is the human realm. Requiem, the goddess, and the door disappear and Mio goes to another door right after she bid her farewell to Kiku and Giman. As she passes through the door, her soul finally returns to her body and she opens her eyes and sees Arata right in front of her. They hug each other and Mio can finally give a reply to Arata's confession in the form of a whisper. So that concludes the recap of Over the Sky. What do you guys think? The movie received mixed reviews from both critics and audiences. Some viewers appreciated the film's beautiful animation, imaginative visuals, and the emotional connection between the main characters. On the other hand, some critics felt that the film had a disjointed narrative and struggled to effectively convey its themes. Some found the pacing uneven and felt that certain aspects of the story were underdeveloped. Overall, opinions on the film varied, and it's important to note that personal preferences and tastes in films can greatly influence individual reviews. Please tell us what you think through the comment section. If you like this content, please leave us a like and share them with your friends. Thank you for watching. Until we see you again.